You're with the Break-a-Leggers! And we're in London at the Brockley Jack Theatre
to see the brand new musical, The State of Things.
So stay tuned to find out how many legs,
whether it's break a leg
or leggings. Before you beautiful people go any further,
to make sure you've always got your finger on the theatrical pulse,
for theatre news, reviews and interviews,
make sure you hit subscribe now.
The State of Things, a brand new musical. What do we know about this?
This is a musical about austerity. It's a musical about cuts to the arts. It's a musical about the fact that we once were surrounded by artistic opportunities, and now, thanks to the latest government, we have next to none. Creatively, it's got a book by Thomas Attwood, and it's got music and lyrics by Elliot Clay, who is also in the cast playing the role of Adam.
They've had a couple of acclaimed productions, Macbeth.
Yes, and Side by Side by Sondheim, both here at the Brockley Jack, but this is their first ever original piece. They have written this, they have devised it, they've come up with the ideas, and now it's here on the stage for us to see.
It's one act, straight through.
90 minutes, no interval, so we'll let you know what we think when we catch you at the end.
So we've come to the end of The State of Things at the Brockley Jack Theatre in Brockley. A bit of musical. How did you find that?
I genuinely loved it. It packed such an emotional punch for me, in a way that I've not felt for a very long time. The sense of nostalgia about the piece, about being at school and the concerns you have at the time and the friendships you made and you make, and I found the piece so relatable with regards to the story, and I was so impressed with the music. I felt every single song was anthemic. There were a couple of songs that I felt could be pop hits. I felt like people could, the likes of Jessie J or Rita Ora, could be recording these songs, putting them out as singles and having hits with them. There was a real understanding of the style they were going with, and I honestly had a great time. How about you?
Yeah, you had a great time then.
I did.
You liked it. I
did.
thought it was really good. It's kind of a bit Spring Awakening-esque.
Yes.
With elements of Our Lady's of Perpetual Succor-esque, I guess. But extremely fresh, extremely exposed. Singer-musicians, they're all playing
the talent
instruments.
in this cast.
Yeah, they're all singing, they're all acting, with lovely touches of movement that is quite subtle and yet really well choreographed. Very strong characters, each character is very well defined really, and really diverse cast as well. Like, I know it's wrong to say like a mishmash of people, but like a real kind of hodgepodge and assemble of an ensemble.
Yes, I mean in this type of situation you would have a mismatch of characters and strong personalities and different personalities.
It's like I could see these characters actually being the characters that are the characters they are portraying.
Yes. In so much as if it was a devised piece, I wouldn't be surprised. I would imagine as young actor musicians, the story the themes of this story that run throughout the piece are probably totally relatable to them. I imagine they've lived these moments, and maybe that's why the strength of the acting and strength of the character comes through, because I felt they had such a good grasp of that character's journey and what was going on in the story.
And I think that's what made it quite relatable, is that they are relatable kind of plot lines and instances, and almost not playing to the cliche of what you would expect to work, like not always having without giving any spoilers as such, but not always having a happy ending. Like, life does sometimes suck.
Yes.
Especially when you're a teenager and you're going through the changes and relationships and friendships and studying, and things don't always work out, and people ultimately go their separate ways. It's just a snapshot of your life that you'll never have again. You've got to cherish that school time.
There's an absolute tough love about the whole piece. There's also a lot of fun to be taken out of the relationships between these characters. There's the class clown, there's the drunk, there's the rebel, there's the political student, the opinionated one, there's the one who has hidden depth and is carrying a huge amount of baggage around with them.
Some scenes stood out really well. At times I thought the writing was fantastic and really well delivered.
Yes, Thomas Attwood is the writer, and he has done a fantastic job overall. There is, I'd imagine, with a bit more time and maybe a bigger budget and maybe just an opportunity to tighten this whole piece up, they could take it to levels not seen since the like of Spring Awakening, since that raw edginess of that sort of a musical theatre piece. I would put it akin to, what's it like?
Oh, I guess this is a tricky one because it's 90 minutes straight through. I didn't feel as if there was a definite 2 acts. I thought the 90 minutes straight through definitely worked. But I kind of see where you're coming from in terms of there is still more development to be had here.
But in a positive way.
I mean, what they've got is fantastic and is a really good, solid foundation. But I almost feel as if now it could go further.
Yeah.
It could be given legs if a producer is out there who wanted to invest a bit more money into it, because the set's great considering what the set is, having books throughout, brilliant use of lighting, sound effects, kind of the school hallways with the bell ringing and nice like bassy sounds. The sound was great actually in terms of the balance of the instruments, from acoustic instruments to then amplified instruments, from singing without mics to then using the mics. It was really well played sound balance wise, which isn't an easy feat.
Not in a small studio space like this, when literally you are on top of the instruments that are being played, so the opportunity to bring the levels down can be quite limited sometimes and overwhelming.
And you can lose stuff quite often.
That didn't happen
anything
here. No. In the cast for this playing the role of Adam, we have the music and lyric writer Elliot Clay.
He had a fantastic song. Is it In This Town?
Yes, you can look that up on YouTube. In fact, we will link it so you can see him performing that number.
Yeah, a really lovely song.
Beautiful ballad.
Really well orchestrated. I guess within the instruments, they've also got a violin and also a flute at one point as well, which just adds some really nice elements as opposed to just the percussion and the bass and the piano and the guitar.
Also, Hana Stewart playing the character of Ruth. She had a beautiful voice and a total believability. I really got on board with her character, and I felt the baggage that she was carrying around when she spoke about the untold truth of herself. Almost, I really felt that from her committed performance.
There's really good chemistry as well between those two characters, almost polar opposites in terms of where they come from. And seeing these two worlds collide was really nice.
Yeah. Also, the character of Will, played by James William-Patterson, he's the bad boy, the comic relief, and he had, again, total believability with him.
He was very good.
Found him to be someone you want to be friends with, someone you know would cheer you up, and somebody that you know. You've got one of those kind of naughty mates that's always up to mischief, and he played the character that we all are friends with. There's always one, and if you don't have one, you are that one.
It's kind of like the Joker of the pack, isn't it?
Yeah, that was really, really great. So I bet you're wondering how many legs we are going to give this piece.
So, for the state of things,
at the Brockley Jack Theatre,
we are going to give four legs.
Yeah, a very well-deserved 4 legs.
Yes.
As you mentioned, with a bit of tightening up, with a producer behind this, with a bit of money to spend a bit more time and a bit more budget, this piece could be one of the next big things.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. I did at one point think, oh, come on, this is dragging. well deserved for, but just a little bit more in terms of the tightening of the production. I think adding some tighter values
and slightly more
be there.
Slightly more character development. There are a few plot points that were just touched upon that I'd have loved to have seen developed a little bit more. Yes, it had made the piece longer. You say there's no real room for an act 2. I would beg to differ. I could see this as a more substantial piece in a main house.
Well, this is our challenge then, I guess, to the writer, is it, to make it a 2-act piece?
Yeah, let's see a bit more of these characters.
See more
let's hear more
angst.
of their stories. Yeah, I would be interested in that. Anyway, that's what we think. Have you seen the show? What do you think?
Stick around. Hopefully we're going to have an interview with the writer/director and the musical writer as well, who wrote the music.
Yeah, who's also in the piece.
He's also in the piece. So hopefully we'll be able to tell you more about what is coming up for this piece, if it's going to have any more life.
Any future.
And in future.
Brilliant. So luckily enough, we are here with the creatives for The State of Things. We're here with Tom Attwood and Elliot Clay, and Elliot Clay also performs in the piece. So thank you so much, guys, for spending some time with us. Feel so lucky because in terms of fresh talent, this is some of the best that we've seen in such a long time. The piece itself, what was your inspiration? Was it a personal journey? Had you experienced these sorts of cuts and the hardships that your cast are going through in the story?
Yeah, so it was based on we grew up together, so it was a mixture of our own experiences, really. So yeah, it is based on many true stories, not one that we sort of then honed into this one piece that explores a lot of different things from our growing up, really.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting because I went to school that had a really good music department, so it was kind of writing something and go, well, what it would have been like if that wasn't there. And then of course for your school,
my school, they did cut the A-level course, which is what this show is about. So we had that nice sort of duality between. Actually, you had amazing equipment, and I had 2 honky-tonk pianos. Wow. So that was very interesting.
Are any of the characters based on real characters?
We could possibly say. We could possibly say.
But is your character you? Because you play quite a distinct character.
No.
Well, you suited your character.
Thank you. I suppose there's elements of anything. No one is based on anyone specific.
No, it's a collection of, and it's one of those things. It's like we all sort of with school, we kind of come across people that you go, that person was very similar to that, and the audience's reactions have been quite interesting. Even people, my parents came and they said, oh, it was really reminded us of our school days. And I thought, well, that's quite good. But then we also had 16-year-olds who go, yeah, no, it's very current.
Yeah, and we've had teachers come and go, I've taught that kid, I've taught every one of those.
I actually heard in the audience tonight there are a few moments where the characters are taking the Michael out of their teachers and the kind of what the teachers spin, and I heard some people in the audience saying that's just like our school, that's just like our teacher, or there's a faculty member like that, and I think it was relatable across generations and across people in different stages of their lives, because the story of cuts and of hardship and of facing situations that you weren't expecting to face is so relatable. The whole thing was just so relatable, and I keep coming back to that. In terms of the music, this is your first original piece?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is the first time that I've written songs and you've written scripts and we've played them to people, so it's been amazing to see their reactions.
Yeah. And how has the response been?
Well, we've just been blown away, really. We had a standing ovation tonight, which was lovely, but it's been amazing. We've had great reviews. We've had 4 and 5-star reviews across the board. We're quite hopeful now for the future.
And what do you see happening? What's your ideal for this piece?
Oh, the Dorfman.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Hello, Rufus.
You do really well in the Dorfman.
But I mean, it would be great to take it to any space. It'd be great to tour it. I think it's a story that is relatable to so many people, and it'd be great to take it around the country and
to take it up north as well.
Yeah.
It's non-specific, but it is set up north. It's about northern kids. So it'd be nice to take it to that audience and to schools as well. Who knows?
Yeah.
In terms of the book, what I found really interesting about it actually is because it does portray teenage kids, but it gave them an intelligence that I've not really seen before in a lot of that teenage kind of angsty situation. You usually get, it's not a skins, it's not a crass language, everyone's out drinking drugs. It's actually, it gives the characters a lot of emotional intelligence, and I found that really interesting. Was that something you wanted to focus on, actually give these kids some credit?
I think so, because I think you've got to try and win over everyone in the audience, and your audience isn't just going to be the characters on stage, 16-year-olds. So it's about getting something that is universal and can relate to everyone. And actually, our experience from school wasn't that everyone was effing and blinding and emotionally unintelligent. Actually, you had a range of things, and that's what I tried to do, which was to create 7 characters that have different responses. Some of them get very politicised and end up joining Labour or Young Labour. Some of them go off and just join a band. So it's that kind of variation.
But look what's happened politically as well. People totally discount the younger generations, and we've seen that is on the turn. And actually, people are going, "No, I'm 16. I am."
I mean, after the Brexit vote,
I am well informed. How dare you say I'm not?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that came across in this piece is, give me some credit. And I think you did really well to actually put young people's opinions at the heart of it and not undermine or belittle them, which was really impressive. Great. Well, that's what we thought, and hopefully this is going to get a future. It's limited run here. By the time you see this, there's not going to be long left to catch it.
How long are you here for?
Well, we're here until the 23rd, so next Saturday.
The 23rd of September.
But then who knows? What's your website? Like, how can these people find out about the future of what you do?
Okay, so you can follow us on @stateofthings_, or our company website, so our personal website is at www.acgofficial.com.
I would say bookmark it, keep an eye, find out what this is doing next.
So the state of things, we loved it. We hope you do too. If you get a chance to see it, please let us know what you think.
Yeah, leave us a comment, follow us on Twitter.
They're the Breaker Leggers, and catch them again soon.
Bye!